Welcome back to our introduction to J-horror. Last time we covered the rise of the genre, from a humble beginning that changes tradition, to talented directors elevating the genre, inserting social commentaries into it. If you haven't watched part 1, you can find the link down in the description. And for those of you who are all caught up, let's dive back in. The year is 2002. The director for Ringu strikes again with another masterpiece, Dark Water. It's the story of a single mother in the middle of a custody battle. She moves into an apartment along with her 6-year-old daughter, and strange things happen as expected. The film focuses on the human aspect, and the horror is just a background element, while the raging spirit aspect remains. It's ultimately a simple drama story, showing the power of motherly love. There's little to no overt scares, even less than Ringu. Just a lot of slow burn tension. The curse in this film isn't pushed hard like it was in Ringu and Ju-on. It's as if the director is fighting against the audience's unhealthy obsession with ghosts. In my head, I feel like the director is trying to end the genre by going back to the basics. If this was the swan song of the genre, it would be a perfect ending. But just like Wes Craven trying to kill the slasher genre with Scream, the corpse of the genre was then carried forward by others.
In order to successfully survive a horror movie. For instance, number 1, you can never have sex. Big no-no! Big no!
2003 saw the release of One Missed Call. This is why I consider the genre died. Oh boy. The film follows a group of people who receive voice messages from the future self. Message from the moment they die. Investigations, spooky hospitals, standard fare. Instead of continuing the lineage of J-horror, it rose all the way back to the Ringu formula. Phones, videos, TV, everything. And it looks like a poor imitation. The curse in the film lacks any form of supernatural subtlety. It frequently resorts to physical violence, egregiously sending people flying across a studio on national television. Even back when it was first released, it received mixed reviews. To many, it is just too similar to Ringu and Ju-on. Still, the genre continues. In 2004 saw the release of The Locker, a lesser-known Japanese horror film, mainly because at this point, nobody really watched them outside of Japan anymore. A group of young people uses a coin locker in Shibuya, contacting a deadly curse from an urban legend in the process. It is yet another poor imitation of Ringu and Ju-on, following a factory-style formula. Set up a group of people, kill them off one by one. The curse is just as violent and flashy as the one from One Missed Call, neck snapping and all. I say it's better than One Missed Call in establishing atmosphere, even if at times it's pretty campy. By 2005, I stopped following J-horror altogether, and so did all my friends. The lineage of J-horror continues, with various sequels and American remakes, and some urban legend-based horror films, which is more a throwback way before Ringu was a thing. There's also exploitation horror, a weird offshoot of the genre, with films like Undead Pool and Big Tit Zombie. Can't bring myself to watch those. The J-horror genre did try to make a genuine comeback in 2012 with the release of Sadako 3D. And oh god, it blows. Sadako 3D is intended to be the sequel of Rasen, which is one of the two sequel timelines of the original Ringu. In the film, the curse from Ringu has been resurrected. With modern prevalence of screen, the curse is more than unstoppable. If you are imagining Dark Mirror with a supernatural twist, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Calling the film horror feels insulting. There is this weird, cheaply produced fanfiction sensibility. Overacting, overemphasizing on the 3D effect. Over-the-top theatrics and presentations. Using suicide as a cheap plot device. It lacks any of the subtlety that defines the genre. It feels like it was written by a high schooler. The title alone, Sadako 3D, goes against what Ringu director wanted. More than ever, the genre wants people to obsess over the curse. And it receives a sequel 1 year later, which I'll not go into. Following the footsteps of Sadako 3D, Ju-on got its own reboot in 2014. Ju-on, the beginning of the end. In traditional Ju-on fashion, the story is non-linear, following an ensemble of characters, although this time the plot structure is much easier to understand. It's definitely more watchable than Sadako 3D, but that's largely due to how many elements this film recycles from the originals. For a reboot, it doesn't bring enough new materials, and as a remake, the original holds up so well that this retelling is largely unnecessary. I suppose this sums up the state of the genre quite well. It feels dated. It feels like I'm watching a different version of the same film, again and again. No one is pushing the genre forward. And then the unthinkable happened. In 2015, Sadako vs Kayako was announced as an April Fool's joke, with Sadako being the cursed ghost from Ringu and Kayako from Ju-on. It's a funny joke, I remember it got a few chuckle from the internet. That same winter though, it was confirmed to be a real production. A production no one asked for. Oh, here we go. Sadako vs Kayako. It follows two separate groups of people who contacted two curses. One from Sadako, one from Kayako. The curses are so strong, no one can lift it. So this anime bullshit psychic dude decides to let the two curses fight and destroy each other. The premise alone seems lazy. It's probably the first thing that pops into the writer's mind. Barring from the fact that you have to wait almost 70 minutes to see the two ghosts fight, the one-dimensional characters with unrealistic motivations makes the wait feel much longer than it should. At one point, one of the characters tried to hang herself off a doorknob. Someone please tell me how this works? I suppose this is spoiler, but when the final climax involves characters staring and screaming, while the audience are looking at a black screen, scratching their heads wondering what is going on, you know this movie is wasting your time. In recent years, the only Japanese films that caught my attention are anime adaptations. Maybe one day I'll talk about those. It's sad to see the Japanese horror genre in its current state. I can't really tell you why this happened, although my guess would be the new Japanese directors and audience are trained to have an anime sensibility. The over-the-top anime aesthetic simply doesn't fly with J-horror that demands subtlety. But that's just my guess. It's also ironic that a genre sprung from the success of Ringu ultimately finds itself unable to break away from its formula. From the beat-by-beat imitations of One Missed Call, to cashing out the name of Ringu with badly made sequels. Still, J-horror has since influenced the other Asian countries, with Korean horror pushing it to new height with their own cinematic culture. But that's a story for another time.